I am. Looks like I'm looking for Yamilix.
Could be.
Yeah, Yamilix.
What is it?
Yamilix.
Milks.
Is this address 5301?
5301, yeah.
Okay.
We got a wedding going on.
Oh, okay. All right.
You pull up. Whoever Ubered you probably is waiting for you.
All right.
It's like kind of a Hispanic wedding, so you never know what you're going to get.
That's right. Does this loop all the way around, or?
No. I would just drive up a little closer.
Okay.
You don't know how many or anything, do you?
Ah, no.
No.
No, it doesn't tell me that much.
No. Ubix? What's the name?
Yamilix.
Yamilix?
No, Yamilix. Yamilix.
Milix.
Yamilix?
Got me. I got a weird ass name.
Yeah, I'd have to say that I usually
like,
don't
what the
struggle
fuck
with
is your
names,
name?
but and you're heading to Gulf Crest Drive?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm over this party.
It's a wedding.
I forgot my drugs at home.
Oh, okay.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I haven't seen my family in months, and I'm like, I really can't be here.
I was gonna say, it's a wedding. It's a fun time.
I know. Oh well.
And this is kind of like in the middle of nowhere.
I know. Gets me a little bit.
I was like, am I gonna like get driven into a cornfield and killed here? What's
At
happening?
first, I couldn't like get an Uber to come pick me up.
Well, at first I saw it.
Like,
And
I
was
gotta
like,
go home. I can't be here anymore. I don't feel right.
Well, I saw it and I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, this is middle of nowhere is what that looks like. Yeah, it was the middle of nowhere. That's for sure.
Where did you drive from?
Oh, I was on my way back from Saugatuck, so I
You
just
live in Hudsonville?
no, I live in Holland. I was heading out toward Grand Rapids, so.
Okay.
See, it looks like there's still people that come down this one-trick pony road.
Right. I hadn't been in Hudsonville in 10 years.
Okay.
Right down here.
Well, was the like? What, did you just go to the reception, or did you go to the wedding too?
Yeah, no, it was just like it was just a reception.
I see. Well, at the beginning of it, was it fun? You had a good time at the beginning, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's all that
it
matters.
was pretty fun. Just seeing my family I hadn't seen in a minute.
There you
Always
go.
nice.
Yeah, it's always.
Questioned about my life, what I'm doing with it.
Yeah, I don't see much of my family, so.
I know. Well, I live in Miami, so
Okay.
I really never see a lot of my family. I come back a lot, but I only, see like my mom. But right now I just saw like family I haven't seen in like forever. So
It happens, I mean.
so it's pretty nice though.
Oh yeah.
It was nice for a minute.
But only for a minute.
But then I get over stuff really quick, and I don't know. I get anxiety when people people start asking me a lot of questions.
It happens.
Like my family, like just they ask a lot of questions. So
That's what families are meant for. They're meant to ask
I
you all
know.
kinds of uncomfortable questions.
I'm like, yeah. Probably making my way out.
I still might make it to the airport to do like one more airport run before the last airport trip.
Nice.
So that works out. Hopefully it's a long trip that goes like back to Holland or something.
Right. There's not an airport in Holland, is there?
Yeah.
There's an airport in Holland?
Yeah, but it's a very small airport. It's got like, I think 2 runways and that's it.
Well, the Gerald Airport is fucking tiny.
It is a very small airport.
So I can't even imagine how small the Holland's one is.
Holland's is like 5 times smaller. Like,
Oh, wow.
It's really small. Like, I don't even think Uber drivers would be allowed to pull in there. I mean, like, with GR Ford Airport, like, at least.
Yeah,
you know,
what's the policy there? Because, like I said, I live in Miami, and in Miami and at the Miami and at the Fort Lauderdale one, they're like super like extra and strict. Like,
yeah.
the Uber drivers can only pull up to a certain spot, and if they catch you, they'll give you like $1,000 fee, and like it's like nobody wants to pick you up,
Right.
and it's like super extra. Like,
Well, they do a lot of, like, they're not, like, in Fort Lauderdale, they're not supposed to stop. So they have to do, like, the rolling stops. They have to be, like, outside of the terminals to pick you up. With the GR Ford airport, like, we sit at Wendy's across from the airport because we can't even go in the cell phone line, which is...
oh really?
Yeah, which is typically where rideshare is supposed to
Yeah.
be. But, so yeah, we have to sit at Wendy's, and then we get a pickup, and it's always going to be 5 minutes because that's what the GPS says. So then we have to go in on commercial side, obviously. We can't go in on the normal pickup drop-off side.
Yeah.
And sometimes Uber's really bad about, the airport's bad about telling people, hey, look, you have to, go through the commercial side instead. So they don't tell the passengers, and then they're on the far side going, oh, well, I'll just wait on this side, like the normal pickup side.
Right.
And it doesn't work out because, like, one day I pulled in to drop my mom off, and I had my Uber sticker in my window, but I wasn't running the app. I was dropping my mom off. Well, they were yelling at me. They're like, oh, you're going to get a ticket, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, piss off. I was like, it's my mom.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't be here, Uber. And I was like...
Yeah, like, I have a friend that does Uber, and she'll pick me up sometimes when I go back to Fort Lauderdale. And I'll just, like, try to go in the front seat or something, and they're still, like, going crazy. I mean, the cab drivers in Fort Lauderdale are fucking crazy. Like, they'll fight you.
Well, and a large part of it is the cab drivers pushed very hard to make it so we had to have a sticker in our window.
Yeah.
Like, the way that I used to get around it before was if I was picking up somebody from the airport, I'd send them a text, like, if it was a female, I was like, your name is Mary. I was like, if you're a dude, your name is Bob. Then I'd turn off my phone. I'd start the trip as I pulled into the terminal. I'd pull up, and I'd be like, what are you wearing?
Right.
So I can at least act like I know who you are.
Yeah.
And that's how I would do it. And I never, ever got, like, the airport personnel never caught me.
Yeah.
They never said anything until we had to have the sticker. And then I was like, oh, man. I was like, that totally ruins my plan.
Right.
But, I mean, all in all, though, it's not, I don't know, I guess I kind of get it, but the GR Ford airport isn't really that congested anyways. I mean, it's pretty, the longest I've ever waited was 10 minutes for
I
something.
know, that airport's tiny.
It is, and it like, the drive to get into the airport's longer than what the airport actually is.
Right.
You cover like a mile's worth of driving, just driving, when it's like 200 feet
Yeah.
worth of pickup space. And I'm like, okay.
And I just got here on like Wednesday, and I was like there, and like I had like this like small little argument with my boyfriend, and they like somebody there called the cops on us.
Oh wow.
Like, it was nothing like crazy like that. Like, we literally had an argument, and somebody like called the cops, and like an hour later after I got home, somebody like the cops showed up, and they're like, yeah, you guys did you guys have an altercation at the airport? And I'm like, what the hell? Like, we had a tiny argument in our car. What is going on? This airport is too too small.
Well, my girlfriend yelled at me for super glue earlier today, so.
Yeah. Well, I was yelling at my boyfriend because he was trying to take my phone and run away with it, and that's kind of situation.
Well, I apparently left the super glue out, and I wasn't supposed to leave it out. And I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, it's super glue. It's a single-use super glue. I was like, you use it once, then you throw it away. I was like, it's like 50 cents. I mean, maybe she wasn't yelling at me, but it was perceived that she was yelling at me. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I was like, you do you, and I'm going to go drive. You know, she's all like, well, when are you coming home? And I was like, I don't even know when I'm going to be home.
Right.
So did you just come into town then for the wedding then? Or did you come in to visit?
Honestly, I forgot my cousin was getting married. I'm just here because I, like, come home all the time.
Okay, alright. So you came back to just visit, you know?
Yeah, and then yesterday everybody was like, are you going to the wedding? I'm like, I forgot about this, but sure.
It's like, do I have a choice in this matter?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I have a huge family. Like, my mom's side of my family is ridiculous. They've literally counted, like, that was probably like 10%.
Okay, well, pretty big
my
family
mom
then.
has literally counted her first cousins, and my mom has over 300 first cousins.
It's a lot of,
Like, first cousins, not even second and third. Like, it's crazy.
that's a busy family.
Yeah, like, one of her uncles, one of my mom's uncles, my uncle or whatever, like, just him alone, he has, like, it's probably like 23 of them. 23 kids. Like, they're all like that, like, crazy.
That's a lot of kids.
Crazy Mexican bunnies.
Crazy Mexican bunnies. that's a lot of kids to have. Like,
Yeah.
my girlfriend's got 3 kids and I've got 1.
I have 0. I have a cat.
Hey, a cat counts.
Like, everybody's like, it's your turn. I'm like, no, the fuck it's not. I move around a lot. I travel a lot. Don't have time for kids. My cat's enough trouble. His flights are expensive as it is. I don't want to keep spending more money.
Well, there you go. See? Perfect way for a good reason for using contraceptives. Right there. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my son to death. I love my girlfriend's kids. But if I could go back, 11 years ago,
Right.
I never wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want kids.
That's what all my cousins just told me. Like, I like to travel around a lot, and I just got back from the Bahamas.
Okay.
And I'm just always going somewhere. And my cousins are like, I really wish I would have been as smart as you and not have kids. They're like, because I would have been definitely traveling as much as you do.
Well, like I said, I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trade my son for the world.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I wouldn't trade my girlfriend's kids. I mean, sure, they get on your nerves. But
Yeah.
like I said, if I could go back, I don't know. I would have waited a little bit at least.
Right, yeah.
But when you're 18 and 19 years old, it's really fun having sex. And you never really think of those repercussions until it's way too late. So
It's crazy because, I mean, I'm about to be 22, but when I was like 17 and a wild child, all my friends were like, you're gonna have the kid first, da da da. Now all of my friends are like on at least 1, 2 kids,
Oh,
and
geez.
I'm like still the one with the little black cat and the one that's always out everywhere. And I'm like, hey, but you guys thought it'd be me.
well, there you go. See,
Backfired on y'all.
that's right. It backfired.
There's so many roads that are closed right now.
There are, like, they've got this whole section of the highway closed off, and you gotta take a detour that's like 10 miles out of the way just to get on the highway. And of course, that's the easiest way to get to the airport, is right there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that makes me sad.
Are you normally like really busy?
Normally, other than the summer months, like the daytime in the summer is relatively good for business. But like the fall months, it's relatively, like, it keeps you busy, you make good money. But the summer months, a lot of the college students, they're not in college, and that's 80% of Uber's business is college students.
Yeah.
And so it gets to the point where it's like, oh, You know, you got to figure out other ways of making money. And like sitting in the airport queue with the other airport drivers, you know, they're like, oh, well, you can't make any money anymore. And I was like, you just got to do it smart.
Right.
Like the first flight every day is at 9:36 a.m. Every day. And if you're there by like 9:15, you're going to be the first one in, and you're going to be the first one to get a pickup. You know, it's just, you just got to, I don't know, I always tell drivers, like, you got to think, you know, like, you got to think, like, okay, where do I need to be? Because right now, like, downtown Grand Rapids is dead.
Really?
Like, everybody's out of town. It's still considered the holiday week. And so not until the end of this weekend will people start coming back. And then, you know, we might slowly start getting the bar scene again.
Yeah.
You know, and then, like, next month, there's the art prize thing. And that's, like, a whole month and a half long. So
I bet that's when you make hella money.
You do make some pretty good money at that time. Like, that's when I first started driving last year, was during art prize.
Yeah.
And I was making consistently like $175 to $180 a day.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, that's really nice. You know, I mean, they made for really long days, but the ends were justifying the means.
Yeah.
And so, like, right now, I've got my girlfriend getting on my shit. She's like, oh, you're not making enough money. And I was like, I'm doing what I can with given the limited amount of rides that are going out every day.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be on a Friday night or a Saturday night. You're getting back-to-back trips, you know, boom, boom, boom. You know, it's not happening like that right now because there's a lot of new drivers on the road.
Yeah.
You know, and that, like, the oversaturation of drivers also plays a big role in drivers that have been, like, I've been doing it for 10 months.
Right.
You know, and this is, like, it hasn't been a horribly bad month for earning money. It just hasn't been one of my best. You know, it's just one of those situations. Like, my best month for earning was October. And it was, you know, Halloween was on a weekend, or it was on a Monday, so they had all these parties on the weekend, you know, and there was a thing going on at the Deltaplex, so it kept all the drivers busy. And, like, Halloween weekend, I made just $1,200 from that Friday to that Sunday. That was insane.
Oh, wow. Yeah, actually, I remember for the, I was actually here last year for the Kanye West concert.
Okay, yeah, it was surging pretty good when he played, too.
Yeah, and I remember, like, the trips went up ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it went up from, like, a fucking $7 ride to, like, a $20 ride.
Oh, you got lucky then. Like, when I picked up one, it was probably 15 minutes before the show start, and their ride was a mile, and they were paying almost $30 just for that 1 mile.
Oh, wow.
And I told them, I was like, guys, honestly, if you just want to walk from here, I was like, I'm totally cool with that. I was like, I won't even be mad. I was like, I'll still give you 5 stars. I was like, because you're paying an insane amount of money for a really short ride.
Yeah.
You know, and so they hopped, like, the 2 girls that were with him didn't want to hop out. And he's like, I don't want to pay. I told him, I was like, due to this traffic right now, by the time I get up to where I can drop you off, I was like, it's going to be like $45-50. I was like, and I'm sorry, but I can't do that with a clean conscience.
Yeah.
I was like, that's just way too much money to pay for such a short ride.
Right.
You know, and maybe I'm blessed with a conscience, or maybe it's a horrible thing.
Luckily, my trips in Miami, being that there's Ubers are fucking crazy over there, like everybody's in an Uber, you know, my trips are super cheap.
Well, and that's the thing, like again, with the saturation of drivers, it keeps, like, surging down.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen a good surge in Grand Rapids in about a month.
Yeah.
And it's just the influx of drivers that are out, you know, and it's not really the driver's fault. It's kind of Uber's fault, because they're always advertising, oh, come drive for Uber, come drive for Uber, you know. And
do you do Lyft too?
I do.
Okay.
And I've still always stayed busier with Uber compared to Lyft.
Yeah.
And it's just
supposedly Lyft is doing better than Uber, but I honestly rather still stick to Uber. Every time that I try Lyft, it's always some shit with it. Like, either my Lyft, it'll say, like, somebody's, like, 30 minutes away. And then with Uber, they'll get there real quick, and, you know, everything. The Lyft can be a little bit cheaper, but I'd rather pay a little bit more and, like, get, you know, hurry it up. Like, I'm just, like, a person, like, I don't sit around and wait. Like, I'm, like, I always have to be on the move, so I can't be waiting 15 minutes for a trip. And they're always like suspending my account for no fucking reason.
Well, usually, like when it comes to like the account suspension, it's usually like a payment issue. So like if you use like a
I always use the same. I don't know. I've never had.
Is it like a prepaid card?
No.
Or well then I don't know then. Because I was gonna say typically that would be.
And like with Uber, like as soon as I've only dealt with one crazy ass driver who tried to drop me off in the middle of the highway in Miami. Like it was the craziest thing that I've ever had to deal with. I was literally scared for my life, and then Uber like gave me like a credit and like refunded that payment and blocked that driver. I could never even come across that driver again in my life, but whatever, I'll still keep using Uber regardless.
Well, and that's the thing, like I mean, like with like with Uber and Lyft, like Lyft is obviously Uber's biggest competitor.
Yeah.
And I get, like some people are like, oh well, I prefer Lyft over Uber and I prefer Uber over Lyft, and they're like, oh well, the drivers are better with Lyft, and I was like, you do realize that 95% of the drivers for Lyft are the drivers for Uber.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, it's just a matter of which platform they're on for the day.
Yeah.
And some of my passengers like, can they do that? And I was like, yeah. As an independent contractor, I was like, we're allowed to do both. I was like,
as long as if you're on a ride with Uber, you can't be on a ride.
Right. As long as if you're logged in, like if you're running both the apps. And passengers do it too. They'll request a ride on both of them to see which one gets there first.
Right.
I've seen it happen to me. Like I was logged into Uber. My buddy rolled up with his Lyft badging in, and they took. It was the same passenger, but she took him instead because he just pulled up like 10 seconds before I did, and he was just right down the road. And I was like, okay. I was like, touche.
Right.
And it's just one of those things. Like it gives people a choice on which platform they want to use, and like you said, if you're always on on the move. You don't want to wait around for your ride. You want to, get in and go and get brought to your destination.
I'm just like super I hate waiting on people. I hate I'm just on the move. It's just hard to explain. Cannot wait. It's just I cannot sit around and wait for anything. So I just can't do Lyft because the trips people always take forever to get there. It seems like.
Well, and sometimes and that is a problem.
With Uber, that never ever happens.
Well, right, and it's got such a large market share that people are like, all right, well, we'll just take an Uber. Yeah. And it's just one of those things. Like I said, I mean, both platforms can be fast, and Lyft would be quicker if there was more drivers readily available. But drivers know, hey, look, I can turn on my Uber app. I'm gonna have a pickup within, probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
With Lyft, it can be a little bit longer. It just depends on. How many people have the Lyft app open, and how many people are searching for rides, and it's kind of like that catch-22, and that's why I always tell my buddy, I was like, because he runs both all the time, and I was like, well, just keep running both all the time. I was like, if you get a Lyft pickup, just log off of Uber, go pick up your Lyft, drop them off, turn them both back on again. I was like, that would be the best recommendation I could ever give a driver. Because otherwise, if you just sit there and spin your wheels on just one, then you're kind of losing out. You're not maximizing on the time you're driving. Because on a day where it's really slow with Uber, it might be really busy with Lyft.
Yeah.
I've had very few days where it's been really slow on one or the other. Like I said, I've always stayed busy with Uber.
Yeah.
But even running Lyft, you can still get relatively good business too. So it's kind of like a catch-22 that's got some good sides to it too. They both have their pros and their cons, and I don't know. I don't prefer either set of passengers over the other. They're like, oh, do you prefer Lyft passengers over Uber passengers? And I was like, I don't prefer either of them. I was like, they both pay the same, so they both pay the driver the same. And I was like, and so as long as I'm getting paid, I'm happy.
Normally I don't take Lyft too much, but when I have, we're okay. But I just.
Well, a lot of passengers are like, oh, well, you can tip inside of the Lyft app. And I was like, you're right, you can. Yeah. I was like, but when I get a tip, I prefer a cash tip because then I don't gotta pay taxes on it.
Normally we always every time when I worked in the nightlife, I lived the nightlife all in Miami. So
yeah.
every time I'm on my way to the club or something, like if I have a really cool Uber driver that, you know, let us smoke weed and drink in their car and they'll like make stops for us, like we always give them a really good cash tip.
Oh, see, there you go.
And then I've made like for like 5 months, I had just one Uber driver that I met through Uber, and then the guy that was paying for all of my Ubers at the time, like I ended up telling him like, this driver is a really cool driver. He lets us smoke weed in the car. He takes us, you know, he makes the pit stops for us. He doesn't complain. So then he hired him as my personal driver for like 5 months. I had a personal driver that I met off of Uber, and the guy was paying him probably double than he was even making in Uber. So it's like you can get a lot of good opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
You just really got to know, like, you know, how to talk to people, and you just got to be a little bit open-minded, and you can make more money.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
Just like any other situation. It's just,
yeah.
I noticed like I'm from Grand Rapids, but people in Grand Rapids don't have that open mind, and they're so fucking scared of everything. That shit irritates me. Like,
oh yeah, some people.
Just like, like, you just gotta be a little bit open-minded, and trust me, it can take you way farther.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing, like, you know, if I ever get passengers that I frequently pick up,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just like, well, you know, I was like, I've got a Square reader, I take cash.
Yeah.
I was like, I take PayPal.
Yeah.
You know, I just saying I cut out Uber completely. You know, because Uber takes a very gracious cut out of every fare from the drivers. You know, they take about 40%.
Oh,
you know,
really?
And so drivers, you know, they're left, like, on trips like this trip, I might get like $9 or $10, depending on Uber's mood. You know, like if they want to take 60%, they might take 60% because they separate.
I thought they only took like 20.
Well, they used to, and they separated it to
You got a
where.
little stingy, huh?
Yeah, they were. Well, they call it upfront pricing. So whatever they're charging you for the ride, you're gonna pay that no matter what.
Right.
And then they pay the driver for mileage and the time that it took them to get there.
Yeah.
And it used to be mileage, time, and distance, and the distance is what it was. That's what made such a big difference for the drivers. And then Uber was like, all right, we're only going to take, you know, 25%. And it just, I don't know, they started rolling out upfront pricing, and it alters the payments for the drivers. Like, if there's a driver that's like, oh, well, you know, I'm making $1,800 a week, they're probably working 80 to 90 hours to make that $1,800 a week. But 3 months ago, they could have made $1,800 a week off of, you know, 50, 60 hours of driving.
Yeah.
And it's just the part of the business model.
But
with
even then,
Uber.
I guess the cool part of it is just such a laid back.
Yeah, you're
on
have,
your own time. You know.
Now is it
this corner house? This one.
Right.
Yeah, you can pull up to this driveway.
All right. But yeah, it's the you're basically getting the flexibility to log in and out of the app when you want, and that's what makes it so nice. That's why I love doing it, because you get that flexibility. Now, how do you pronounce your name?
Yamilex.
Yamilex. Yamilex.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure
Thank
giving
you
you a
so
ride,
much.
sweetie. You have a good night, all right?
Thank you.